Morning, everyone. Morning. It's Sunday, the 10th of December here in Auckland, and wherever else you are in the world, it could be a different day and different time and all that sort of stuff. At 9 o'clock at night on Saturday night in Europe. So all looking good. The boats are flying, and not a lot of extra news. Stern is underway, which is good once again, and we're just looking forward to seeing him get in now. And it's getting very tense because you'll see not a lot in it, and the breeze is going to hold all the way through by the look of it. So we'll get straight into the tracker and see what's going on here. Put that up there, and I get on to here, and yeah, so a lot going on, and there's only literally 100 miles in it between Translated and Penjui, so it's going to be very interesting finish. Plenty of breeze coming through here for the guys on this side of the course, and that's no doubt why Neptune and Evrika were headed out there. They would have got a forecast and see this sort of a high forming up here and don't want to get caught. Interestingly, Outlaw and Tapio in the middle of it, still moving quite fast, and White Shadow making ground. So all is looking quite interesting. Back end of the fleet for Explorer and Sterner. You can see Sterner made a bit of a hiccup. It took them a while. I haven't heard the story about what was happening here, why they've got it together, but they're certainly underway and moving quite well right now. 5.4 knots, did 57 miles since they've been started. So that's pretty cool. They sat there for a couple of days trying to wait for conditions. Obviously, I'm only speculating and double check. They don't want it to be a patch-up job. It's got to be really good because they've still got nearly 4,500 miles to go through the Southern Ocean. We forget about some of the distances that are involved here now. So anyway, they're back on track, and I'm sure they'll tell us all about it when they give us a call. Explorer also doing 7.4 knots, 132-mile day. It was kind of interesting yesterday. Explorer was stuck in a little tiny hole of no wind. It just appeared. It showed on the graphic, and they were down at 4 knots. Just sailing at 4 knots for quite a while, which is really strange because there's wind everywhere, and all of a sudden there was this little square hole, and they sat in it. So that's all good. They're making time and just moving the weather forward a little bit just to see what's coming. There's nothing exciting in terms of storms or heavy weather. There's a bit of a front coming in a couple of days, but it might be soft. They won't be making huge days, but at least they'll still be moving. This is going through to the 12th. It's a bit patchy. That nor'wester coming up the back there is going south. So you can see then generally there's going to be a bit of a light weather thing here. So I might suggest they head down to 45 or something just to keep that breeze, keep the speed up. So anyway, that's all good for them. Now coming back here to the other side. I'll just pick it up a little bit in the size. Yep, we can sort of see what's going on anyway. So White Shadow, they came down a little bit for, whatever. Maybe they were worried about this high a bit, but they're coming up again. So I think they were probably just sitting, suiting the sea state. 8 knots, 175-mile day, all pretty good. And a nice strong westerly there that's going to get a little bit stronger by the look of it. Evrika over here. Evrika and Neptune definitely came down here to hold. They didn't head up to Auckland. So they've obviously been getting good forecasts and know that the breeze is going to be on this side. So that's all cool. 8 knots, 246-mile day. That could be a glitch, but it could be pretty right. They've been moving pretty fast yesterday as well. So, yeah, maybe. Neptune, 8.6 knots, exactly the same, 277-mile day. And that could be true as well. I forget when I was looking at it occasionally, they were moving quite fast. So plenty of ground covered there. 6.1 knots for Outlaw, a little bit slower. So the breeze is obviously softening off. 189-mile day, and Galliana down to 6.2, so slowing down a bit, but it looks as if they got very little wind, 5 to 10 knots, but they've obviously got a bit more than that. They'd have everything up going for it, and they're still moving at least, but losing ground to some of the others. 8.7 knots for L'Esprit de Keep, 168-mile day, so that's okay. Good sailing conditions. And Triana, 8.6 knots, 152-mile day. And they're absolutely not heading for, Triana's not heading for Auckland at all. They're just trying to get over this side of the course because, as I've mentioned a few times, generally that's where the breeze is as well. And they know there's highs out there, and they've got to be on the right side and so on. So Maiden heading up 8.6, 205-mile day, and enjoying the conditions. Let's see if there's some sunshine there. Always interesting to see. Not quite. That's a bit of the front going through. There's plenty of sun down here, so that's pretty good. And current-wise, there should be no real surprises there. Just have a quick look. No, nothing that's upsetting anyone. It's all generally going in the same direction as the breeze, so that's all good. Spirit of Helsinki, 9 knots, 218-mile day, and 9.3 to, yeah, okay, so Translated's pulled away a bit more. Translated's got 9.3 knots and 225-mile day. So Helsinki's not keeping up with Translated for the moment. Neither is Maiden, of course, 205. So the leaders have pulled away a bit. Now you can see Penjuic running at risk of running out of breeze, but they've been sailing really well right up until now, and they're still doing okay. 8.4, 221-mile day. That's pretty good. They've caught up a little bit on their IRC rating as well. They were running 7th yesterday, but they're now back up to 6. So we'll look at the weather in a sec to see how it's going to progress going forward. But just to give you some perspectives here, from Cape Reinga to Penjuic right now, we'll go to the bow, is about 280 miles, 286 miles for Penjuic, and for Translated is 173 miles. So Translated is about 110 miles or something in front of Penjuic, and they'll both be heading straight to that point. And you will see in a minute on what's going to happen to the weather, but it looks like they're going to get good breezes all the way through. So 100 miles is quite significant. If we were calling that the next mark, I would say that's a fair enough assumption. 110 miles. Helsinki down here is 330 miles, so another 100 and something miles behind Penjuic. So it's going to be hard to catch that up, because if we're talking 100 miles, the distance for Penjuic is 513 miles. So let's say they get good sailing all the way, just sort of like what I call drag race sailing, not technical, not tacking, not running at a fluffy breeze. They've got to make up 20% difference, or sail 25% faster to get that 100 miles. And it's going to be hard for them to sail 25% faster than Translated, and even more so for Spirit of Helsinki. So the rankings and the potential is starting to show up now. It's going to get more and more challenging to sort of try and change the game, if you know what I mein. Anyway, that's where we stand. So I'll come back a bit so we can see what's likely to happen. In fact, I'll do it in 2 parts. In fact, I'm going to do what we did yesterday, which might be a bit unfair for the tail enders here, but everyone's interested in what's going to happen to the lead group here going around, and then I'll come back and do a generalisation. So this is the current weather now. This is where they're going, down to Auckland, and I'll just skip it forward. So it's 1930, there's all of these are about 3 hours. So you can see here, in the next 5-6 hours or so, Translated seems to have a bit of a stronger wind gradient, if this is correct, and it could be a bit fluffy. Penjuic, on the other hand, is a little bit softer. Okay, so it's likely that at worst they'll stay the same, and at best, Translated over that couple of 100 miles might pick up, or in the next 6 hours might pick up another 10 miles or so, going maybe a knot or so faster. A little bit, I'm clutching at straws here, but just trying to show the difference. And then it's maybe there was a little bit extra puff there for Penjuic and a little bit less for Translated coming into this little trough here. Spirit of Helsinki's all right. They'll hold their own for a while. And then coming forward again, this is now getting close to 24 hours out, and they'll be getting very close there. You can see it's the same. Neck and neck, similar breeze for Translated and Penjuic, so it's very hard to grab it. But I'd say Penjuic might have picked up another 10, 12 miles by the time they get to Cape Reinga. So, and then it's going soft, but their speeds will still be pretty good. And at that point, Penjuic, this is on the 11th, so 10th, on the 11th. At that point, it's game over for everyone. It's going to be hard because from this point onwards, you'll see the breeze starts to fill in consistently everywhere. It's starting to fill in. That's it. They've all got this solid sou'wester that's just blasting through the tip of North Island, New Zealand, and holding on the other side. So this is where it's a drag race. On the 11th, they'll be around the corner not long after that breeze fills in, and you can see there's just heaps of breeze. Right, there's 28 gusting. When you're in the oranges here, it's 28 gusting 40. To 35. There'll be a bit of a lull in the lee here, but flat water, blast reaching, might be going a little bit forward of the beam, but it's certainly boat for boat. They'll be holding their own. You can see there's plenty of breeze right through until they actually get in. So lack of wind isn't an issue. Tactically, trying to work out what's going on isn't an issue. It's a very solid southwesterly airflow, and that's easy to sail with. So going around Cape Reinga, if Translator's got a 110-mile lead, it's going to be very hard for them to not take out line on us, touch wood. So Penjuic's got challenges. They'll be sailing like crazy. I'm pretty certain there's a bit of they haven't gone dark ship, but I know that Translated and Penjuic and Helsinki and stuff, yes, they talk on the radio together and so on, but it might be getting a little bit quiet there at the moment, not wanting to let too much information out from all the parties because it is a serious race as well and there's a lot at stake. So Translated currently sitting first line on its first IRC, first flyer class, and looking really good to hold that right to the finish. Penjuic coming second in line honours, third in flyer class, and third in flyer class. How can they be 1, 2? Yeah, that doesn't make sense because there's only Translated in front of them. So I'm not sure where they get third in flyer class from there. Anyway, 6 in IRC. They might pick up a bit there because the tail enders might change a bit. And Helsinki third in line honours, fifth in IRC, first in Sayula class. And Maiden, who will be pretty much holding their own, might go a bit soft at the end. Fourth in line honours, fourth in IRC, which is still pretty impressive. I know why. I just realised something. Fourth in IRC, fourth in line honours, and second in flyer class. Yeah, I think what I was getting confused with here is 6 in IRC, third in flyer class. That might be referring to IRC there. Yeah, not sure there. I'll have to clarify that later. Anyway, so that's going to be very interesting to watch. So coming back here now for the rest of the fleet with the weather, we can look at what's happening. There's white shadow down the bottom there. I'm getting locked in here. Okay, so we can see everything that's going on there, that high forming up. It's going to go quiet for Galliana and Outlaw, that's for sure. It's coming over. Yep, it's going to go over the top of the Speed of Keep. That's probably why Triana now is heading straight out to get over here, get away from this high that's going to go over the top of them. Same with Neptune and Evrika, they're going to go up there. White Shadows, no problem. They've got plenty of breeze there as well. So this is going to happen pretty quickly. Still all on the 10th coming through. So that's all not going to slow them up forever. And then that's it, game over. There's got plenty of breeze everywhere. That system just establishes itself. It's the back end of this. There's a couple of big random highs here, but this is all spewing across. So this is going to hold for a few days by the look. White Shadow will be away from that centre, might get a little bit soft there, but I think they'll be over here by then. And all the rest of the fleet, they'll be roaring up here for a few days. And we'll look at how many days that'll hold for. That's onto the 13th. 13th. And then that starts to go, okay, so it might slow them down a little bit. But certainly if we look at that's 10th, 12th, 13th, I think we'll see the first 4 boats come in pretty quickly alongside each other. They're about a day apart from each one. Let's just give you a bit of a heads up on how I think they're going to stack up. Whenever Translated gets in, I think you'll see Penjuic turn up about 8 hours later. Okay, and then from there, you've got another 100 miles. So about 10 hours after that, you're going to see Helsinki. And then for Maiden, you can stack the days up here for Maiden. About another 18 hours behind that. So all 4 are going to be spread over about 3 days, I think. 3 days, is that be right? Oh, Let's see what we got here. No, only 2 days. Over about 2 days. So the first 4 boats will be over 2 days, and I would be expecting. I'll do an ETA in a minute for the others, and then after that, after the first 2 days, the next group's going to be a day. A day behind that, you're going to see some more, and another day behind that. So there'll be a few coming in, and we won't have our banners and flags and bits and pieces up. So let me just give you now. I'll just try and calculate an ETA for translated. What's an ETA for translated? Distance finish, 400 miles. That would normally be 200-mile days. It's the 10th, 11th, 12th. They're not going to do that because they'll be a little bit soft. But I would say, so it's 9 o'clock on the 10th, 11th, 12th. They could get in on the afternoon of the 12th. The earliest we're going to see translated will be the afternoon of the 12th. I reckon, yeah, the afternoon of the 12th local time here in Auckland. So it's happening very fast. So we'll look forward to that. I think that's all we need to do there. One quick look at the leaderboard for IRC. Here we go. And translated 40 days and 16 hours, 42 days for Triana. Triana's coming in second, so a day and a half behind. So pretty secure on the issue of line honours and IRC for translated at the moment. So, and then it's Galliano with Secure still holding it, but they're going to lose a bit here because it's a couple of days behind, but behind them is Maiden. Maiden will keep the speed up. So I think you might see Maiden slip into third place for IRC. They've only got to do 8 hours, which they'll probably do. So Maiden are looking like third IRC. And then after that, Spirit of Helsinki, very close to Maiden. So they could, it's going to be a toss-up between Maiden and Helsinki, who's going to grab third IRC. And Penjuik down 44.23. They're 10 hours behind Helsinki. I don't think they'll be able to grab that. So it might be sixth place for Penjuik, and the others will be fighting it out. So all very interesting. Okay, I think that's enough of that one. Let's go back here and see what we've got for questions and so on. I've got a few questions and answers there that I'll probably do today as well on the Q&A. There's only about 7 questions, but that's all fine. So what have we got here? Nigel, evening. UK, must be cold up there now. Good morning for Auckland, for USA, Eon, Caprice, Marlborough, Coast Guard. Oh, cool. Nice spot down there. Spent a bit of time down there with Rodney Russ. You all know Rodney Russ. Anyway, morning, Sunday morning. Yeah. Do I have a problem? Good morning. AM on Sunday morning. I'm not sure. No, not sure what that is. Evening, Southampton. Evening, everyone from Hampshire. Yep, cool. From southeast UK, 50-mile gusts over here tonight. Oh, that's cool. That's nice down here. Don, did Don mention the speed equipped with 24-hour distance? Yes, I did. It's there. I'll go back and I'll go back and have another look in a minute. Herman, hi from Matanka. I'm excited to see some of the boats arriving. How will that look like? Well, they're coming down the harbour. All the boats will come down the harbour, so you'll see them heading towards the finish line. The finish line is right off the clubhouse of the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, just before you get to the bridge. So there's not a lot of room between the finish line and the bridge. So if they've got kites up and everything, they get them down quick. So it's right at the end, so you can watch them from the breakwater there or anywhere coming up the harbour, which is good. Thanks for these updates. As you said, it's a bit like watching grass growing, but still exciting. Yeah, it takes a while, but they're all having fun. My prediction, Penjuik will go wide on the east side of New Zealand and will overtake Translated 9 or time between less than 4 hours. Yeah, I mean, it's never only over till the fat lady sings. When I give a prediction like this, it's just giving you my opinion. There's a lot of breeze there, and it depends how close you come in. You know, there'll be a bit of a lee there locally, but I think Translated will be aware of that as well. So, but absolutely, 100 miles is achievable if someone makes a mistake. Someone else can go past, or someone has a smart idea. It's never over until the fat lady sings. So cheers from Sweden. Hand pink waving. Okay. All right. So that's it for now. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Every day is getting closer, more fun. So stand by for that lot. Thanks. See ya.